Hello, everybody. Welcome to Under the Arch Sports. I'm Eric Hobbs.
And I'm David Woldingen.
And the Cardinals are not the only ones kicking off their season this week. Friday night, Battlehawks kick things off. And hey, we're going to talk about the season a little bit. And hey, it's going to be happy because it's not the Cardinals as the season's starting. Before we start, need you guys to help us out. Uh, Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Find us on Facebook, on Instagram, on X, and on Spotify. Because cacaw is still the law.
Caw.
Uh, oh, that is so ridiculous. All these years later.
Just makes you laugh.
It's reflective of how I think, David, we view the Battlehawks. It is, yeah, you want to win. Yeah, you're bummed out when they lose, but the overarching feeling is just fun.
Yeah, it's spring football. You're there for a good time. You're there to tailgate. You're there to have fun and just enjoy everybody around you. It's a
Yeah.
big old party.
Yeah. So it's something you absolutely want to win and all that, but yes, the Battle Dome is absolutely a party, and that's what makes it fun. This team, David, coming off 7-3, first place in the XFL division, things looked like they were lining up, and then they just kind of came to a screeching halt, getting knocked out in the playoffs, and well, now they got a new quarterback and got to figure that out.
Well, not just quarterback, but new offensive coordinator with
Yeah,
Phil McGagan.
yeah,
So So it's going to be a whole new look, I think. And on top of that, you're actually going to have a quarterback who can move in the pocket, which will be a novelty here in St. Louis.
yeah.
No knock on AJ because he's an unbelievably talented quarterback. But,
Knock his mobility.
yeah, well, yeah, exactly. Especially at the end, which is why we didn't do well in the playoff game and whatnot, is because he hurt his ankle and he just couldn't move. And when you mess up your ankle, especially when you're trying to throw the ball, everything ends up being high, which is essentially what happened in that game. And it is what it is.
It's not like he
But
was a dog. It's not like he was a dog friendlier version of Michael Vick back there before he hurt his ankle.
true.
Uh, he's not mobile. He's a statue back there. Let's face it.
Anyway,
Um,
right now they're still in a quarterback battle, quite honestly, with Max Duggan
yeah,
and Manny Wilkins. Now we know about Wilkins. He has the legs. The question with him is his arm. Can he sustain drives with his arm? He had a spot start last year. Didn't look fantastic in any way. But at the same time, he was a backup, and now he's getting a chance at the starting spot. And it's a little bit different when you know you're starting than when you're thrown into it because of an injury of the starting quarterback. Then you have Max Duggan, who's had NFL experience as well coming in. They're going to be splitting time in the first game. I'd like to see him get more time than Wilkins, just because we know what Wilkins is.
yeah, I
But
agree.
but who knows? It's going to be interesting to see how they do that. It's going to be fun to watch against Houston. So, in case you wanted to know who they play first, it's the Houston Roughnecks on a Friday night.
Friday
At,
night,
yep,
Fox.
Fox at 7 p.m. I believe is
You know, I'm excited about Phil McGagan being the offensive coordinator, and that has nothing to do with him. It's Bruce Gradkowski not being the offensive coordinator. You and me have talked about it many times. Neither one of us understood how he could be so conservative, especially early in games. And honestly, it felt like his play calling led to the Battlehawks having to dig themselves out of holes repeatedly, absolutely refusing to take shots down the field with the best quarterback in the league and the best wide receiver in the league and other weapons. It blows my mind that they weren't 10 times a game trying to throw the ball 20 yards down the field or further, AJ McCarron to Hakeem Butler. Um, that's still astonishing to me. But
or one of the fastest receivers in the league, Ja'Cory Pearson, which
yeah,
AJ for whatever reason refused to throw to towards the end of his season last year. So
yeah. Uh, Either way, I'm excited to see what Phil McGagan brings to the table as an offensive coordinator. He's been a wide receivers coach forever, so maybe there's more emphasis on receivers. You know, once you get up the promotion, there's no telling. But years of experience as a wide receivers coach, so keep an eye on that. And just in case you're all of a sudden, oh my gosh, Manny Wilkins is throwing to five different receivers in the first quarter. What's happening? Uh, if it were to go like that, we'll see. Uh, I don't know, David. This team, I think having Wilkins and Duggan back there, you lose AJ McCarron's arm, but you gain mobility. All right. And what that means is the playbook kind of opens up. Maybe you lose a couple of very complex route situations, but with AJ McCarron not being able to run, Manny Wilkins we know is mobile. Max Duggan, mobile enough. I think there's a real interesting option here to have more read option type stuff. All right. I think the playbook has more possibilities and there's the potential for more variety.
well, you got the read option, RPOs.
Yep.
More importantly, you got the rollout style play actions, which you never saw AJ do, partly because he can't move.
Yeah. Yeah. I was blanking. RPOs is what I'm most excited to see. I hope there's a lot of that thrown in there.
But
I think it can take the offense to a new level in terms of the Battlehawks. While the offense with McCarron, while very good, was also you kind of knew what they were going to try to do.
well, and to credit McCarron and the Battlehawks last year, they had one of the best rushing offenses, as well as,
Yeah.
quite honestly, they put up the yards passing too when they needed to. So, I mean, on when it comes to both passing the ball and running the ball, it was there. It just was a very conservative style offense until they needed it.
Yes.
My issue is why play like that when if you can put the pedal to the metal, put up points early, then you take the pressure off your team.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. It was almost like they were scared of McCarron throwing an interception, which made no sense to me. I'll be curious to see if Jacob Sailors ends up as kind of RB1 this season. The Sailors 5'10", 199 pounds. Good, powerful back, steady back. Maybe not as explosive, but I think he's a solid option. I'm curious to see how much they use him, and honestly, if having a mobile quarterback opens things up for him.
Yeah, because now you can't just key in on him if they're doing those read options, kind of what you were saying earlier. Now you have two guys who could potentially pull the ball down and just take
Yeah,
off going the other way, and it really makes the defense have to play at home, stay at home, if you will.
yeah. At one final note on the mobile quarterback thing, I think that's going to really help in goal line short yardage type situations more than anything else.
Oh yeah, totally agree. A few new faces on the wide receiver group. Hakeem Butler's still there.
Yep.
Ja'Cory Pearson's still there. You have Denzel Mims, Blake Jackson, Frank Darby, Sam Wiglusz, and then Gary Jennings. So it'll be interesting to see who really comes out as your main wide receivers besides Butler and, of course, Pearson with that speed. I hope they find a way to utilize him this year.
Yeah, Pearson, my gosh, he's a perfect complement to Hakeem Butler. All
Mm.
right, Hakeem Butler being an absolute monster, and then Pearson just all over the place. I'd love to see him in some like jet sweep action. I think he's got the speed in this league to do some real damage.
Well, and it'll be interesting with these mobile quarterbacks. Now you can really utilize that double pass.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
because they have that they have that double forward pass rule now. If you're behind a line of scrimmage, I mean it's always been there, but now you got a couple of mobile quarterbacks who could really take advantage of something like that.
Yeah. I hope to see more creativity. Um, the one thing that you do run the risk of it, with guys who are kind of NFL retreads is running kind of what the NFL would had been 10 years ago, which is kind of a frankly a conservative and not very exciting offense. It's been in the last 10 years that the NFL has started to open up.
Well, a lot of that's because these college coaches are moving to the NFL and they're bringing that style over.
And at this point, that's all that the college players know by and
Yeah,
large.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so as long as the coaching staff is, you know, amenable to kind of having that adaptability, and McGagan, new offensive coordinator, well, he was at Colorado recently. He's been a college coach all over the place. He was a wide receivers coach for the Battlehawks a year ago. But let me pull him up. I have it here. All right, so he's been in the NFL, wide receiver coach for the Dolphins and the Bills, the Chargers, as well as recently as 2020. Uh, 2022, he was their receivers coach, was not a coach in 2023. And then this is second year with the Battlehawks. So I say that to say that NFL and college experience, the college experience coaching wide receivers, you like to think that that's rubbed off on him. I hope it has. I think it makes for a more wide open and exciting game.
Either way, I think this year is going to be interesting and fun to watch. Um, their schedule is very favorable. They have 6 home games because Brahmas have to deal with the
Brahmas.
Final Four. Yeah, they had to deal with the Final Four down in San Antonio, so they had to move that game to St. Louis,
Yep.
which I still don't understand how it ended up here, but whatever.
Well, the UFL is begging for St. Louis to be good because they know that St. Louis has the biggest fan base. They're going to do everything they can to put St. Louis in a position to succeed because more exposure, more money. How big is it going to be if they have a championship game, the Battlehawks are there. A championship game, I think, would draw more than 40,000.
Hmm.
I don't know if it would sell out, but it would get close. And
It may
that's
it
that
may not
is
just be it may not just because they don't have time to promote it.
still if the Battlehawks are in a an XFL championship game the week before, I think people are going to get it, especially if the Cardinals are terrible by mid-June.
Uh, except last year they actually had a lower attended game, but part of that had to do with how bad they played the week before, I think.
Yeah. If
So,
they're in the championship game, I think it'd be north of 40,000. And that's
well,
what the NFL is just hoping for.
right.
Because it's not like anywhere else is going to draw in huge numbers, so why bother?
And since you're talking championships, they are talking. I don't think it's been official yet, but they are talking about putting it in St. Louis again for a couple of reasons. The fields that they were looking at have other things going on. I know from what I understand, DC is where they wanted to have it. They said no, um, and I think that has to do with the MLS club over there.
Yeah.
Uh, so I can understand that. And then I think San Antonio was the other location, which they have other events going on already, and it's booked, so they couldn't do it there. So it's ending up being St. Louis being one of the only options. I don't think they'd look at Birmingham because you don't want to play in June in 100-degree weather down in Alabama. So
Yeah. I think that's a big part of it is mid-June in summertime in the United States.
yeah,
It's and St. Louis is indoors. That's a huge factor where it could be a permanent location just because it's a dome.
true. So, I mean, right now, if you look at the odds, they have the Battlehawks second to win the whole league. So, I mean, the opportunity is again there this year for them to reach out and grab it. All they have to do is perform.
Just got to
So
figure
it's,
out ways to slow down Birmingham.
yep. All I know is it's going to be a real fun season, as always. Make your way out to the dome because I'll be there. If you look at the picture behind me, those are where I sit. Those are my season tickets, actually. So if you have to be down in the end zone, come find me, say hi. Um, I'm always looking to meet everybody who watches us. Reach out, have a good time, guys. It's football season here in St. Louis. Caw.